Hi guys, so I wanted to do another time-lapse journaling video for you, mostly because I like the way the time lapses look. But today I actually want to redo the way I track my spending, and I recently uploaded a video where I showed how we're tracking our savings for our first home. And in that video, I promised that I'd show you a bit about how I try to budget. And I thought the best way to do that would be in a time lapse. So the last one, this is the Find My Overflowing Journal. This is the final product of the last time lapse that I did, which was for that mind map. Let's have a look. So I've got all my bits and pieces ready. I've got my texters. Now I just buy cheap ones. They probably don't last as long as the expensive ones, but let's face it, I wouldn't be journaling to try and track my spending to save for a house if I had enough money to splurge on expensive texters. So, you know, that's just one evidence that I'm really trying to save for this house. Let's have a look. So I have a whole section for money and budgeting and financing in my bullet journal. And what I have been doing for a little while now, let me find you the page. What I have been doing for a little while now is tracking my spendings. Let me just try and there. So down this side, I track where money's come in, whether I've taken it out of a bank account or whether someone else has taken it out for me. And I don't track what's in my bank account because I try not to spend from my bank account. I try to pull it out in cash if I can, and use that and budget for that, because if I budget for the amount that I get paid, say if I had $500 in my account, I budgeted for $500, then at the end of that budget there'd be zero. So I look at what I need to pay, what I need to use the money on, and then I take that much out, I use that much, and whatever's left over, I don't look at that. I leave that. I try to let it accumulate. I try to transfer it across to a separate bank account once it's hit, you know, a nice round number, say 500. It's there if I need it for an emergency, but, you know, if I only have $250 worth of bills, then I only look at that $250. I take that out, I use that, and I try to ignore the rest. There's a few air quotes around the try there, you know, it's a work in progress. Then down the other side here, I write exactly where I spend the money on. And the most frustrating thing for me is a lot of the money gets spent at the supermarket, which kind of feels a lot like a waste of money. I mean, I know I have to eat, I know the kids have to eat, but to see this money continually going out and to not actually see anything for it. If you go to the fridge, you wouldn't think there's thousands of dollars worth of food in there, because over a year, obviously, it goes bad, it gets thrown out. You know, we're serial overspenders in the supermarket. And this tracker really kind of highlights that. But it's not very pretty. So what I want to do is I want to pretty it up. I've got a design in mind. I want to draw all that up, and I'm going to do it now and then time lapse it for you guys. So let's get started. final product. So I've written a bit of a heading at the top here. I've written the days that I've got left in this month in little boxes, and my plan is to write in each box the amount that I've spent on that day, the total amount. And if I can get away with a day not spending a cent, then I'm just going to colour it in something nice and bright and bold, so I can see really clearly when I get to the end that, you know, there's 5 days or 10 days where I didn't spend anything, you know. So down the bottom here, I've got a few goals that I've written for myself. I've written buy quality food, you know, that whole spending at supermarkets is really frustrating me. So if I can spend on food that I know is wholesome and nutritious and the sort of food you need, I'll feel a lot better. Buy less snacks, you know, ties into the same goal. And then buy mindful Christmas presents. I mean, it is December. It's horrible. I hate it. I start out really excited about buying things for people. You know, I've got ideas about what certain people in my family would really enjoy. And then I hit this wall where I've got certain people and I don't know what to get them. And I end up grabbing, you know, the cliche cosmetics, the cliche, you know, the little pack that says men on it, from, you know, the big supermarket chains. And then I've got the same money in and money out graph that I had on the other page, only this one has all, you know, all the extras as well. And with the goal being not to spend on as many days as possible, I'm hoping that if I have to extend this to the end of the page, I can, but that's all the space that I'll need. That's what I'm hoping. So that's the page. Thanks for joining me.